What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Whitmer here, and welcome into another edition of my college football playoff rankings right here on the MVP YouTube channel. And, before I get into it, I feel like I'm missing something. So, I'll come over here, and we're going to put on the ranking hat. I figured it out, boys. Boys and girls. I'm going to put on my pirate ranking hat. It's a special ranking hat. I feel like we got to wear it each and every ranking video so that we can make the best ones. Because, we're swashbuckling out here. We're rebels. We're going against the grain, apparently. Or the College Football Playoff Committee does not know what they are doing because their rankings were completely different than mine heading into this week. But, that's what happens sometimes. Before I get into everything that I'm going to do in this video, make sure to join the Discord down below if you want to. Number one, join in on the football conversation happening in the Discord every day between all of us and our fans, the MVP Army, MVP Nation. Go ahead, join that for free down below in the description. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVP vids, or you can become a channel member today. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, and that notification bell to stay tuned with everything going on with MVP as we continue into the unknown, which is the college football rankings. Hey, that's why I've had the hat on. We're heading into uncharted waters, mateys. And we have to, make our way with our rebel flag flying free with our pirate ship, shooting down any bad rankings that are out there. But before I get into everything, what a week in college football, man. What a week. Michigan State was throned and then they were dethroned. Cue the Denny Green. They are who we thought they were. They are who we thought they were. Because, that's what Purdue was saying. Or Purdue's just saying, hey, I beat 2 top 5 teams. Ohio State, you might be next. But let's go through what I have in a very quick video. I don't expect this one to be too long. And just a little bit of a recap. What did I have a week ago? A week ago, we were sitting Georgia number 1, Ohio State numero 2, Cincinnati was number 3, Alabama was number 4. We had Michigan State number 5. I only had them at 5. The committee had them all the way up at 3. And then, of course, Oklahoma was sitting there at 6. And, for us this week, we have a big decision. To me, it's going to be, I'll be completely honest, it's impossible for the top 4 to change this week. But, let's get through the first 2, and then I'll do kind of my little talking where you got at number 6 this week, the Oregon Ducks moving up. They're now 8-1, moving up into the top 6. Last week, I had them, if you looked on my Twitter, I had the rest of my 7 through 25. They were at number 7, just out of the top 6 last week. And then at number 5, moving up 1 spot, are the Oklahoma Sooners. My little thought on these games or these teams is, so Michigan State, obviously you lose to Purdue, you're getting bounced. The other teams that were sitting outside, because this is kind of a big deal, is you've got, so Michigan State loses in my ranking. So, Oklahoma, they didn't play. They should not be punished for not playing. They're going to move up because the other teams that were behind Michigan State were Oregon, Notre Dame, Michigan. Those were the big ones. And I think I had them, let's check. I had Oregon, Michigan, and then Notre Dame 7, 8, and 9. This week, my kind of reasoning of why I put Oregon in that top spot is because you got to look at who these teams have played, who they've beaten, who they've lost against. First off, you look at Michigan. They lost to Michigan State. So, really, Michigan State shouldn't fall, in my mind, past the Michigan Wolverines because they didn't, their win this week wasn't as convincing as I thought it would be. Only a 28-7 win over the Indiana Hoosiers. I know the Hoosiers play teams tough. They played the number 5 in this case, the Michigan State Spartans, pretty tough when they went head-to-head. So, Indiana's a tough team, but on the national level, they're not that big of it. You should be able to win that game convincingly, 28-7. Convincing win, just not a blowout. So, I mean, it was nothing special. Then you had Notre Dame, where they were struggling with Navy early. They go ahead and they get the win. I got to double check on the score, 34-6. You win handily over a Navy team that Cincinnati barely beat. Yet again, they're more familiar foes. You got to put that into it. And then you got Oregon, where Oregon, per se, they do have a loss as well. I forgot to mention that the only loss Notre Dame has is to last week's number 3, Cincinnati. We'll see where they are this week, but their only loss is to Cincinnati. So, I mean, you look at it and you go, hey, Notre Dame has to be one of the teams that is just itching to get up there into the top 6. But, that's why I went with Oregon. And to put the rankings up again, Oregon is the team that gets there at 6 because, yes, they lost to Stanford, and the loss to Cincinnati is a more quality loss than the loss to Stanford, but you got to look at the wins. And Notre Dame, Michigan State, none of them have wins like the one Oregon has. Oregon has Ohio State as a win on their record books, and that's the team last week that we had at number 2. So for me, hey, Oregon, the committee did it last week. I'm doing it this week. We're going to put them into the top 6 just behind Oklahoma. I mean, Oregon, if they would have had a more convincing win over the Washington Huskies, maybe there's a case that, hey, because Oklahoma was on the bye, only a 10-point win, I had to double check, for the Oregon Ducks over the Huskies. So there might be some people saying, hey, you got to put the Sooners below the Ducks. But I think these two teams are going to be the ones jockeying for position this week to potentially get into the top 4. And I almost feel like these rankings are boring this week because the top 4 stays the same. Number 4, Alabama Crimson Tide. They did their job. They didn't lose. Yeah, it wasn't as convincing as a win over LSU as we thought it would be, but, they didn't lose, so we can't knock them. Then at number 3, Cincinnati. They almost lost. They almost were like, hey, Ricky, we need some huge shakeups. We need a new number 4 in here, or a new number 3 in here. Maybe Alabama moves up then. But, I mean, they did their job. They won. They have stayed in the position in my rankings. Then you got Ohio State. Same thing. Playing Nebraska this week. They get the dub. They keep moving forward at number 2. And then number 1, the Georgia Bulldogs. They did their job. They beat not Vandy. I'm mixing up bad SEC teams in my head. They beat Mizzou this week. So, I mean, I look at it and I'm like, that's why I feel like this video, I was like, oh, it's not going to be that long because there's not much shakeup here in the top 4. Where really the only big shakeup that we had was Michigan State losing. And I'm kind of glad Michigan State lost, because if they didn't lose, we would kind of have a little bit of an issue like, oh man, what am I going to do here? Because no one would be moving. And that's my biggest fear, is having a week where it's like, well, the rankings didn't change outside the top 6. Where did they go? I will tackle that when we get to it. If we ever get to that, I will tackle that. But yeah, luckily we had some movement. We had, and I'll put it up again, the top 6. We got number 1, Georgia, number 2, Ohio State, number 3, the Cincinnati Bearcats, number 4, Alabama Crimson Tide, number 5, Oklahoma moving up one step, and then the Oregon Ducks, quackaroo. They are right there at number 6, the newest addition to the top 6. And I mean, one thing that I should probably do, or start to do, is let's look ahead. And I mean, yet again, maybe to make this video a little bit longer, let's look ahead really quick. Cincinnati, they are going to be on the road this Friday playing South Florida. 2-7 South Florida team. If they take care of business, they should be able to get it done. Alabama has a cupcake for them. New Mexico State, who is 1-8, comes to town for them. Oklahoma will have a big match coming off the bye. Baylor lost to TCU this past week. They will host the Oklahoma Sooners in Waco. That game will be taking place at Baylor in Waco, Texas. Then you got Georgia. They're going to go to Tennessee, but there's no reason to think that Georgia loses that game unless it is a complete blowout. Then you got Ohio State. They are going to host the dog that's been eating the most. The dog is just eating everything in the Big Ten. Iowa, top 5 team, not a chance against the Boilermakers. Then you got Michigan State, not a chance against the Boilermakers. Does Ohio become the 3rd top 5 team? I want to see exactly where the Iowa Hawkeyes were ranked. Iowa was 2, Michigan State was 3. Like, do they have another top 5 winning performance in them? This one will be on the road. I think Iowa was on the road. Yeah, they went into Iowa, they won. Michigan State, that was a home game for Purdue. We're going to see what Purdue has as they they go to the Horseshoe in Columbus. And then the Oregon Ducks, they have a very manageable opponent in Washington State, 5-4. But hey, anything can happen in college football, as we see from week to week. But this is where you guys come in. Let me know what you guys think down below of my rankings. I'll throw them up one more time so you can see it as I talk a little bit here. Those are my rankings for this week. What would this be? Week 11, going into week 11 of the college football season. If you want to give your own rankings in our Discord, again, join it for free down below. In the college football chat every week, I'm putting up a Google spreadsheet so that the MVP Nation can kind of keep track of their rankings throughout, and we can kind of compare them week to week to see where we started and where we kind of finished, kind of do that as a community. So join that in the Discord for free down below in the description. Want to thank you guys for watching. Again, if you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids, or you can become a channel member. Hit that sub button, hit that notification bell to stay in tune with everything that's going on with MVP. I will be back. Hopefully, I plan to do another video tomorrow reacting to the committee's rankings. So hopefully I will have that out tomorrow night or Wednesday night. But thank you guys for everything you do. Let me know what you think down below in that comment section. And as always, have a good day, everybody.